Hi, welcome back to our videos on solving equations or making true statements. In our last video, we looked at a one-step problem, and solving an equation, we're finding the value of the variable that will make the original statement true. Now we're going to look at a slightly more complicated problem. And in this problem, it's going to take multiple steps to get a true statement, or to solve this for x, to find the value of the variable that makes the statement true. So I'm going to kind of step through this. The first thing we need to do when solving is simplify each side of the equation. We want to simplify, and then we want to collect our x's and collect our non-x's. So my first step in simplifying is going to be to distribute values into my parentheses. So I'm going to use the distributive property. So I distribute the 2 in, and I get 2 times 2x, which is 4x. 2 times negative 1 will be negative 2. When I distribute negative 4 in, it's really important that I distribute this entire negative 4 in and not just positive 4. You need to carry that sign. So negative 4 times 3x is minus 12x. Negative 4 times 1 is minus 4, and that is equal to 2. Now that I've done my distributive property, I'm going to collect like terms, which means I am going to combine my x's, and I'm going to combine my constants on the left side to make sure that I have just one term that has an x and one term that has a constant. So 4x minus 12x will be negative 8x. Negative 2 minus 4 will be negative 6, and that is equal to 2. I now want to get, now that I have simplified the left-hand side and I've simplified the right-hand side, I want to isolate my variable. So I'm going to isolate my variable first by isolating the first term, okay? When I am undoing, or when I'm solving an equation, I'm actually going to use SADMAP, which is PEMDAS backwards. So that means I want to do my addition and subtraction first. Then I'm going to do my division and multiplication. Then I'm going to do my exponents, and then I'm going to do my parentheses. So I'm actually reversing the order of PEMDAS. So I'm going to first add 6 to each side of my equation, and that will give me negative 8x is equal to 8. To get rid of that negative 8 in front of the x, I am going to divide both sides by negative 8. So that's my multiplicative property of equality. And I'm also using my multiplicative inverse. So that's going to give me negative 8 divided by negative 8 is 1. So this will just give me x is equal to negative 1. Really, really important, I need to check. So what I've done is I have solved this equation. So I have found that I think when I plug negative 1 into my original equation, I will get a true statement. Let's see if that's true. Check. So 2 times negative 1 minus 1 minus 4 times 3 times negative 1 plus 1 is equal to 2. Now I'm going to be using PEMDAS. So I just used SADMAP. Now I'm going to use PEMDAS to solve this. Okay, so I need to work through what's inside the parentheses. And first I'm going to actually multiply this out. So 2 times negative 1 is negative 2 minus 1. Inside my other set of parentheses, 3 times negative 1 is negative 3 plus 1. All right, now inside my first parentheses, I'm going to do my addition and subtraction. Negative 2 minus 1 is negative 3. Inside my second set of parentheses, negative 3 plus 1 is negative 2. Now I'm going to do my multiplication. 2 times negative 3 is negative 6. Negative 4 times negative 2 is positive 8. So now I have negative 6 plus 8, that is 2. 2 is equal to 2 is a true statement This checks out, so x equals -1 is my solution. Okay, I have made a true statement. I really want to get in the habit of checking to make sure I've made a true statement before I state what my solution is, because not every value that I solve for like this is going to end up making a true statement. Let's look at another example where we're going to have to go through multiple steps. But in this case, we're actually going to be solving and everything is a variable. So the formula for the area of a trapezoid is A is equal to 1/2 h times B1 plus B2, where h is the height and B1 and B2 are the bases. Just as a reminder of a trapezoid, it looks like this, where if this is a right angle, that's my height. That's also a right angle. This is my base 1 and this is my base 2. So I'm finding the area of that trapezoid. But I want to solve for B2. So I'm going to write my equation down here. A is equal to 1/2 h times B1 plus B2. There are a number of different ways we can solve this. I'm going to go through one of the methods. We're trying to find this. So SADMAP is kind of what I like to work with. Addition and subtraction, multiplication, division, then exponents, then parentheses. I'm actually not going to use my distributive property here because what I'm solving for is inside. And if I distribute this 1/2 h in, I'm only going to have to divide by it later. So I'm actually going to try to get rid of this 1/2 h initially. So I'm first going to focus on getting rid of 1/2. What do I have to do to get rid of a 1/2? And that is, I'm going to multiply both sides of my equation by 2. So if I multiply both sides of my equation by 2, I get 2a is equal to h times b1 plus b2. Because if I have 1/2 times h times, this is just kind of ends up being a value, times 2, this is just multiplication, so my 1/2 and my 2 end up canceling. How do I get rid of h? Well, I'm going to divide both sides of my equation by h. These h's will cancel, so I get 2a divided by h is equal to b1 plus b2. Still solving for b2. So now I'm going to subtract b1 from each side. So I get 2a over h minus b1 is equal to b2. And that will end up being my solving. So we don't always have to have numbers. We might have variables that we're trying to solve. And remember, we are making true statements whenever we're solving an equation.